Hi ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders, welcome to another episode of Weekly Forex Outlook with Chart Engineering Pro. Really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video, and we do not take you for granted at all. If you haven't yet subscribed or you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content we post here. And if you also find value with what we share here, be sure to like, drop your comments, share your views, and share this video to your fellow traders or anyone who would find this information useful. And I would also like to wish all of us a happy new year in advance. And I believe we are enjoying ourselves during this festive season. So I pray that next year, 2026, is going to be more fruitful and more profitable for all of us. And I wish all of us the best, and we'll catch each other next year. So without wasting much time, let's have a quick recap of last week's setups discussed in our previous video before we dive into next week's analysis. So stay tuned. This is EURGBP on a daily time frame. We had this setup from last week where we were looking forward to see a neckline break for this head and shoulder formation we had here, and price broke the 4-hour time frame. We had a 4-hour break here, and which confirmed the bearishness that we were looking for. And I think on the one, we got our entry on the 1-hour time frame where we got this engulfing candle, this bearish engulfing candle. This is where we took our entry and then put our SL above the right shoulder. So we are holding this trade to the TP we have below. The possible scenarios we also have should, in case you missed this trade, we can also look out for a possible pullback. Should price pull back to the entry points and give us selling confirmations, we'll still be glad to take the sells to the downside. So this is the very first scenario, possible scenario we'll be looking out for. Or if price also breaks, we get a daily candle break below this structure point over here. We get a daily candle break, we come for a retest of this structure point, daily structure points. We can look out for selling opportunities and continue the sales to the downside. So if you missed out on this entry, you can wait for any of these two possible scenarios to jump onto this trade and have this targets we have below as your target. That's around 1.58966 for EURGBP. This is GBPAUD. So GBPAUD, from the previous weeks, we were anticipating that price was going to either react from this very first zone or the second zone we have above here. And on the daily time frame, we had this evening star formation here. We had this rejection candle in our area of interest, and we had this bearish engulfing candle following suit. So as the market opened, I think on 26th, yes, on 26th, the entry was a bit late, but we still took it. So we took our entry somewhere around here and then put our SL above the rejection candle, and we are targeting the target we have below here around 1.80921. So we are also going to hold this position till it hits TP. The possible scenario you might have is if you are not able to catch this trade, we can wait for price to break these structures we have below here. These structures we have below here, should we break them and come for a retest of the structures, we can still look out for selling opportunities to the downside to the preferred targets we have below here. So we are extremely bearish on GBPAUD for now. We have here USDJPY. So from last week, we were anticipating that USDJPY was going to either react from this very first zone or the second zone below. And price has actually reacted from the second zone, and we now have a 4-hour structure shift. For some time now, we have been missing a lot of trades due to extra confirmations. So we had the 4-hour structure shift here with this candle closing above the 4-hour structure, and then price coming back for a retest of the structure point, and then it took off. So we took this entry right at the 4-hour structure point and put our SL below this low over here. So going into next week, we'll be anticipating a possible pullback back into the entry area, a possible pullback to give us a possible higher low formation or a possible right shoulder and give us a continuation to the upside. So going into next week, if you're unable to catch this, we can wait for a pullback into the entry area once again and then look for buying confirmations to take the buys to the upside. If we're able to get the buying confirmation, we'll put our SL below the low we have here and have this as our target that we had from the previous episodes. So let's see what we have for the fundamentals. I mean, we are in the holiday season, so there's not much high impact news for the time being. So I'm going into next week on Monday. There's nothing. There's no high impact news. On Tuesday, we only have the FOMC meeting minutes for the USD on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we have the USD unemployment claims. Apart from that, there's holidays throughout the week, and so we might see some slowing down the market. So the market might slow down a bit. We might see low volatility in the market. That doesn't mean the market is not going to move at all, but then we might see some slow movements in the market. So whenever we get a trade or we get an opportunity which makes sense, we can still take them and hold onto those positions into next year. So let's jump into the charts for what we have for the coming week. This is DXY. So DXY, from the previous week, we were anticipating price was going to pull back into this area of interest, but price didn't make its way there. And so for the coming week, we have these three areas of interest to be looking out for. Should price pull back into this area of interest and give us selling confirmations, we'll continue to look for the sales to the downside to this target. Or should price break above and come to the area of interest where we were looking out for from the previous weeks, we will still be glad to take the sales from here, either from this very first zone or the second zone above. So these are the possible areas of interest we'll be looking out for to look for selling opportunities to the downside. This can only be invalidated if we are able to break above this zone and then clear these structures and continue to the upside. So we are very bearish on USD on the DXY, but then we will have to wait for the pullback to give us an opportunity to jump into the sales. So let's see what we have for the USD pairs. This is EURUSD. So EURUSD, from as of last week, we were anticipating that price was going to pull back to this, either this very first zone or this second zone below. Price never came there. So going into next week, should price pull back into this first zone and give us buying confirmations, we'll be glad to take the buys to the upside. If this very first zone gets violated and price pulls back to this, either this second zone or the third zone we have below, we'll still be glad to take the buys from there. So we are extremely bullish on EURUSD for now. This can only be invalidated, or this entire move can be invalidated if price breaks below these structures and continues to the downside. Until then, we are extremely bullish for EURUSD for now. So all we have to do is wait for the pullback and look for buying opportunities to the upside. This is GBPUSD. So GBPUSD, we're also anticipating that last week we anticipated that price was going to pull back into this area of interest and continue to the upside. Price never made its way there and continue to the upside. So next week we'll look forward to a pullback into this very first zone. If we get the buying confirmations, we'll look for the buys and continue the buys to the upside. Should price break this zone and come for the second zone below, which we anticipated GBPUSD to react from last week, we'll still be glad to take the buys from here. This can be invalidated if price breaks this zone and continues to the downside. So we are bullish on GBPUSD. Sorry. We have here USDCHF. So USDCHF happens to be my favorite of all the USD pairs for now. So as you can see, we have this deep crab formation right here, which is yet to complete. So this is the pattern, the harmonic pattern that is playing out for USDCHF. So price is yet to hit its potential reversal zone. So it would be wise for us to look for selling opportunities to complete this particular pattern we have here for USDCHF. So for the coming week, we are waiting, or we are looking forward to see price pull back into this area of interest. Should price pull back to this area of interest and give us selling confirmations, we'll take ourselves here, targeting this potential reversal zone we've had for a very long time. Or should price make its way above the second zone, we'll still be glad to look for selling opportunities from here to complete this deep crab pattern we have for USDCHF. Sorry. This can only be invalidated if price breaks above this zone and clears these highs and continues to the upside. So that's the bullish side of things for the USDCHF. But then the highest probability for USDCHF now is the bearish side. So we're looking out for more sells than buys on USDCHF for the coming week. We have here AUDUSD, and AUDUSD is bullish, extremely bullish weekly. I think on the monthly, weekly, and daily are all bullish. So going into next week, we'll be looking for a possible pullback into this area of interest and look for buying opportunities. So this target we have about here. Should price pull back a bit deeper to the second zone, we'll also look out for buying opportunities here and continue to the upside. So we are very bullish on AUDUSD. This buy move can be invalidated if price is able to break below and clear this daily structure we have here, clears it, and then comes for a retest and continues to the downside. Until then, we are very bullish on AUDUSD. Sorry. We also have here NZDUSD, and NZDUSD is also extremely bullish now. So going into next week, we just be looking forward to this pullback into this zone and look for buying confirmations to this very TP we have here. And should price pull back a bit deeper into the second zone below, we'll still be glad to take the buys to the upside. This can be invalidated if price breaks below the zone and clears this daily structure, comes for a retest, and then comes towards this potential buy zone as well. This is also a potential buy zone. So if price is able to make its way there and give us bullish confirmations here, within this zone, we'll still be glad to take the buys from here to the upside. So we are also bullish on NZDUSD for the coming week. This is EURGBP on the daily time frame. So EURGBP is extremely bearish now. So going into next week, we'll be looking forward to a possible pullback into this area of interest. Should we get selling confirmations within this zone, we'll be glad to take the sells to the downside to this particular zone we have below here. So we are very bearish on EURGBP for the coming week. Should it pull back a bit higher to the second zone above, we'll be glad to take the sells from there as well. This can only be invalidated if price buys and breaks above these daily structures and continues to the upside. Until then, we are bearish for GBP for the coming week. Sorry. We have here GBPAUD. So for GBPAUD, we're looking forward to a possible pullback last week. So we now have a clean 4-hour structure shift here. So going into next week, we'll be looking forward to a lower high formation back into this area somewhere around here, and we'll look for selling opportunities to the downside to meet up with these targets we have below. So for GBPAUD, we are also bearish on GBPAUD, and so we'll look out for a lower high formation, and then we'll look for selling confirmations to the various targets we have here. These are the three various targets we have for this move on GBPAUD. So we are very bearish on GBPAUD. This can only be invalidated if price buys above this daily structure, and continues to the upside. Until then, we are extremely bearish on GBPAUD. We have here GBPNZD, and so for GBPNZD, we've had a daily structure shift for which we are anticipating that we're going to get a possible right shoulder. So this is our left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the possible right shoulder. We're anticipating that price is going to pull back a bit higher to give us a possible right shoulder formation. But from what we are seeing here, price can likely continue selling from here wherever it is. Price can continue selling from here and continue selling. So these are the possible scenarios we're looking out for on GBPNZD. So if price buys a bit high to give us a cleaner right shoulder formation, we'll be looking forward to a possible reversal around these areas to give us a right shoulder formation and continue the sells to the downside. Or should price close below, we get a 4-hour closure, 4-hour candle closing below this 4-hour structure, and price comes back for a possible pullback into this structure point or into this zone once again and gives us a selling confirmation, we'll still be glad to take the sells to the downside for GBPNZD. So we are extremely bearish for GBPNZD, and these are our targets that we have, so TP1 and TP2. And then if this one way or the other buys above this zone and continues to the upside, that is when we would discard this bearish bias that we have for GBPNZD. We have here Euro AUD. So for Euro AUD, we are also very bearish now. So going into next week, we are also going to look for a lower high formation back into the zone and look for selling confirmations down to the zone we have here. So we are bearish on Euro AUD. Should price find its way out, should price buy above and break above this zone and clear these daily structures above, then we'll be considering this move as bullish. But until then, we are very bearish on Euro AUD for the coming week. So we just wait for price to develop and give us confirmations to take the sales to the downside. We also have the EURNZD, and we were looking out for this possible head and shoulder formation for some weeks now. I think this is the left shoulder, this is the head, this is the possible right shoulder, and we continue to the downside. So we are looking forward to this head and shoulder formation for the coming weeks, and price gave us a nice rejection and a nice reaction or nice momentum from the area of interest, which is giving us a possible right shoulder formation. So dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, we'll be looking forward to a possible pullback back into the zone, any of the two zones. So we are looking forward to a possible pullback back into any of these two zones. This is very first zone or the second zone, to give us selling confirmations to the downside. So we'll wait for this pullback to give us a cleaner confirmation to the downside, and this is the very first zone will be our first target, and our extreme target is going to be below here. So until we are able to break above this zone here and continue upside, we are extremely bearish for EURNZD for the coming week or weeks ahead of us. We have here NZDCHF. For NZDCHF, we were looking forward to a possible reaction from this zone to give us a selling opportunity into this possible zone for some buys. So going into next week, we'll be looking out for reversal patterns within this zone here to give us selling confirmations to take our sales to the downside. So this very zone we have below here. Should price violate this zone and continue buying to the upside, then consider this bullish from here onwards, the zone above. Until then, we are going to look out for this bearish side for NZDCHF before we look out for the buys later. This is Brent crude oil. So for Brent crude oil, we're looking forward to see some reactions from this very first zone. I mean, the momentum price was coming with was making it look like this zone was never going to hold. But then afterwards, price gave us a very nice strong reaction from the zone. You see, we had this indecisive candle right at the area of interest, and price gave us this strong bearish engulfing candle, which is a sign that price wants to go to the downside. And this could have been an entry, but the risk to reward wouldn't be good. The risk to reward will not be worth it. So it will be expedient for us to wait for price to give us a lower high formation back into the zone. Then we look for selling opportunities to the downside. So we target this as our first target and our second target below here. So wait for the lower high formation on Brent crude oil. Then we take ourselves from there to the downside. So we are still very bearish on UK oil or Brent crude oil. We have here natural gas. So for natural gas, price is currently reacting from a strong, I think, monthly area of interest, and price is currently giving us some nice formations at the area of interest. We are likely going to see a possible inverse head and shoulder formation right here. So we have this possible reversal pattern developing at our area of interest. So this is how it looks like. So let's say this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and we are seeing a possible right shoulder formation right here. So should price break above, should we get price to break above this structure point, this daily structure point, if we get a daily candle closing above this structure point, and we come back for a retest of the neckline, we'll be glad to take the buys to the upside, targeting these two targets we have here above. So we'll have to wait for price to develop more for us to give us clarity on what decision to take, as to go for the buys or to go for the sells. If this does not happen and price breaks this zone, then we'll be looking out for a sell to this second zone we have below. Until then, we are looking out for the buys for natural gas than the sells for the coming week. We have here the S&P 500. So last week we were anticipating that price was going to pull back a bit deeper somewhere around here to give us confirmations to the upside, but price never made its way back down. So going into next week, we have these two areas of interest to look out for. Should price give us a pullback into this first area of interest and give us buying confirmations, we'll take the buy to the upside. Should it pull back to the second zone we have below, we'll still look for buying confirmations and take it to the upside. So we are extremely bullish for S&P 500 for the coming week. This can only be invalidated if price breaks this zone and continues to the downside. Until then, we are extremely bullish for S&P 500 for the coming week. We also have here the NASDAQ US 100. So for NASDAQ is giving us a possible butterfly harmonic pattern formation. So last week we were anticipating that price was going to pull back to retest this 4-hour structure point and give us buying confirmation to the upside. The price never made its way there. So going into next week, should price pull back or give us a higher low formation? If price gives us a higher low formation, or should price come all the way back to retest this 4-hour structure, we'll be looking out for buying confirmations around this area and take our buys to the upside. So we'll be waiting for a higher low formation to give us the confirmations to the upside. So if we are not able to get anything clear here on NASDAQ, we can look out for what is going to happen on the S&P 500 or US30, as I'm going to share right after here. So if should S&P 500 hit this area of interest and give us confirmations, then it's likely due to their positive correlation, that is due to the positive correlation between the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, it's likely that if S&P 500 reacts from this zone to go to the upside, then NASDAQ is also going to see some reaction from wherever it gets to, and then see the buys to the upside. So we're looking out for these setups for the coming week. This can only be invalidated if price breaks below this zone and continues to the downside. We have here, I think, the last but one, that's US30. So going into next week, we'll be looking out for a possible pullback into this very first zone and wait for buying confirmations and then take our buys to the upside. So these are various targets we have. So TP1, TP2, and TP3. Whichever targets you want to go for, you can. Should price also pull back a bit deeper into the zone here without violating these lows, we will still be looking out for the buying confirmations to the upside. And then should price break below the zone, then we know we are now heading bearish on this index. So we are extremely bullish for US30 for the coming week. And I think this is the last setup for the week. This is JPN225 or the Nikkei 225. So going into next week, we'll be looking out for a possible pullback into this area of interest we have below here. Should we get a pullback into this area of interest and we get buying confirmations around this zone, we'll be very glad to take the buys to the upside, having these two as our TP1 and TP2 and our TP3 at the extreme top. So thank you so much for sticking through to the end of this video. I really appreciate you for taking the time to be here, and I wish all of us a fruitful and a profitable week ahead of us. Then also, as we enter into the new year, may the new year be fruitful to us. May this new year be prosperous. May this new year be profitable for all of us. May this new year be a turnaround, or a major turnaround for most of us as traders. And may we all come to a place of fulfillment as we enter into this new year. I wish all of us the very best. Let's apply proper risk management to our trades. Let's trade safe and sound. Let's be safe out there and spend quality time with our family and friends. So I'll catch you guys on another episode. Thank you so much and have a wonderful time. God bless you. Bye bye.